your last tour with Rick and Trevor.
True.
And you mentioned that word to me. I remember that's where you were coming from. Yeah.
It's a very, very powerful instrument. There are more now coming through, but that was the first one that really inspired me to. You see, the guy who put it together, the Omnisphere guy, is an old friend from years ago.
Oh, really?
Years ago, yeah. When I first came to, it's strange that I'm remembering now. When I came to live in LA, having decided not to live in China, I came to live in LA, and
that's quite a switch.
Yeah.
I grew up in LA.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
I mean, you see, LA is a very powerful place, right? And most people don't know why, but it's an ancient place from, when I lived in LA, I was, I'll tell you the story, so you might as well hear the story. On my way to LA to work with the guys on
was that Big Generator?
Big Generator.
Yeah.
Which took forever. It was just a waste of energy and money. But a good album, you know. But I was there in LA, and I'd read this story on the plane coming to LA that the Hopi grandmothers of Big Mountain had decided not to move. They'd been asked to move many times by the American government because the American government wanted to strip mine that area, and it's their most sacred place.
Oh, which area is that?
It's called Big Mountain. It's on the vortex of the 4 states. I think it's Nevada,
Arizona, California,
Arizona. Yeah.
Okay.
It's right there.
Oh.
Anyway, they weren't going to move these beautiful, beautiful people. And I read it in Time magazine. So by the time I got to LA, I wanted to learn more about Native American culture. I'm living in LA. And lo and behold, the more you think about something, the more somebody comes knocking at your door, you know?
Right, yeah.
And a friend of mine that I bonded with is a guy called Gary Barlow, who's a wonderful guy, engineer, musician, and he was working in a studio, and I went to talk to him about how much did he charge in the studio from 12 to 6 in the morning, and he said, nothing. I said, can I use it?
Right.
So
I used to do that too.
Yeah, you have to, you know.
Do the 12 to 6 thing, yeah.
Yeah, so I did that, and I went, you know, Gary called me a week later and said, look, something's happening in East LA. There's a big sort of convention in this school. It's all to do with the Hopi grandmothers. And I said, good, I'm gonna go. And the adventure that I went on through that experience was remarkable. I finished up doing an album called Toltec, and not many people know about it, but to me, I actually played a track of it last week, and I couldn't, in surround sound, I couldn't believe how good it sounded. It just sounds like, thank you, you know.
Oh, that's great. Really triumphant, huh?
Like I was saying, the music follows you eventually, so I better stop talking.
Well, that's what we're here to do, man. That's what we're here to do. I would imagine that the other guys in the band were not quite in this space of following the Hopi grandmothers.
You know, I've been studying, at that time I was studying meditation, so I wasn't really doing anything other than trying to calm myself down, you know.
Sure, because you're really pumped up after the show.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of energy.
So we're driving to Boston and stop for some gas, you know?
Yeah.
And there's a cinema next to the gas station, and there's a sign up on the cinema saying, it says Spinal Tap. So I said, Spinal Tap, what the hell is that? And Tim, bless him, said, oh, it's a movie about rock and roll. It's supposed to be pretty good. It's just been released last week.
Oh, wow.
So I said, okay, it was 2:00, let's go watch it. Went to I never laughed as much in my life. There was me and Tim and Steve and a little lady in the back of the theater.
I saw it when it came out in the theater as well, and my reaction was different. I
recorded them like a band.
Right.
Voila.
Yeah.
You know, was it All Good People was on it?
Yes, All Good People, yes. Mm-hmm.
And it was just like, that's how to do it. And they were going to travel with us around Europe. I think that was it. But I always remember them coming in like school kids in a way, like, who's this and who's that? They're holding their violins and